Introducing you to people across North Carolina and around the world who put their Catholic faith into action. This is FaithWorks on Catholic 540 AM Divine Mercy Radio. Now, here's your host for FaithWorks, Ellen White.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of FaithWorks on Divine Mercy Radio. Our show highlights individuals through God's grace who put their faith into action daily. Amazing people who have an interesting, sometimes overlooked impact on our Catholic faith. On FaithWorks, we share their stories. I'm your host, Ellen White. Today's program is a special conversation about faith, family, prayer, and the quiet ways God pursues us throughout our lives. We'll be speaking with Agnes Tyborowski, a parishioner at St. Catherine's whose powerful faith journey spans from her childhood in Poland to her life here in America, a journey marked by the prayers of a faithful grandmother, the persistence of a praying mother-in-law, Eucharistic adoration, pilgrimages, and a return to the sacraments. Agnes's story is a beautiful reminder that God never stops calling us back to Him, and that the prayers offered for our loved ones truly matter. Welcome, Agnes. It's so good to be chatting with you this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, Agnes, let's begin at the beginning. Tell us about growing up in Elk, Poland, and the role faith played in your life then.
I was born and raised in Elk, which is a small town in northeast of Poland. I was born in 1974, so I grew up in an era of communism, and I grew up in an era of St. John Paul II.
Yes. So where was he at this point? I'm sorry, I don't...
In 1974, he was still, I believe, in Krakow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do remember in 1978 when he was elected a pope. My little nephew was born in November. My little nephew, he was 4 years apart when John Paul II was elected a pope, and my nephew was born. They named him Paul after John Paul.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so you were 4 years old.
I was 4 years old when he was elected a pope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And for those of us that have never experienced life in Poland, what was it like? You said it was under...
It was under the
communism.
communism.
How would you describe it?
It was tough for my parents, definitely.
Simple living, or
it was very simple living.
Okay.
It was tough to provide food, only because the food was rationalized. You couldn't go to the store and get whatever you wanted. So there was a limit. We had food coupons, and per that coupon was given to each family member. So we have 5 children and 3 grown-ups, which was my parents and my grandmother who lived with us. So 8 coupons per person, and it would tell you how much you're gonna get sugar, how much meat you're gonna get, and that kind of stuff. So it was very limited.
And was it a store type location where
so
you
you
would
had to go to the store, yes.
Okay.
You had to go with the coupon to the store to get food, but just because you had a coupon, it didn't mean you're gonna get the food.
It depended on whether or not they had it.
Yes,
Okay.
and when they knew that they're gonna have it, my grandmother will stand in line for us to get it.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah. Wow, that's very interesting. Okay, and speaking of your grandmother, you affectionately call her Babcia.
Babcia.
I love that. She was a faithful Catholic who prayed every night.
Yes,
and you mentioned her when we were preparing for the interview last week and just having a conversation, or 2 weeks ago, having a conversation about this. What would you say her impact was on your life, in your faith journey, or just in general? How would you describe her?
She was very loving and caring.
Oh, yeah.
She had a very tough life.
Okay.
She raised my father by herself. My father was born in 1939, so we are talking World War II era. My grandfather, shortly before my grandma, I guess, found out that she was pregnant, he left Poland, and he came back to the States because he was born in the United States. So my grandma was left behind to raise my father. From what I understand, the family lied and told him that my grandmother and my father passed away during the war. So we never had any contact with him. So I don't think he ever knew of our existence or my father's existence. However, like I said, my grandmother was a very, very faithful Catholic. She attended Mass regularly. If she didn't cook or clean, you always seen her praying her rosary. So that's how I remember her.
Yeah,
sitting
beautiful
with her rosary. And she's the one that taught me nightly prayers. Every night she would pray and she would have me kneel next to her. And she taught me Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory be. So yeah, Apostles' Creed, 10 Commandments. That was the whole, and Guardian Angel. So that's the whole nightly prayer routine that she had. And she taught me those prayers. She would take me with her to Mass. I have a reflection. Remember being at Mass with her when I was little. And church seems so big. In reality, it's a tiny church, but it seemed so big at that time. And me sitting there and just sitting on the kneeler, actually, in the pew. And her trying to coax me, like, come up, get up, don't do that. Sit up. So, yeah.
So you remember that vividly?
Vividly, yeah, I remember that. It kind of always, I don't know, with that moment always stands in my eyes.
Were you the only one in the family of your siblings that had this experience with your grandmother, or did she do this with all of your siblings?
I don't, it's hard for me to recollect because I am the youngest one, and between me and my sister ahead of me is 6 years difference. So I just can recollect on what she did for me.
Okay. It's just, I'm enamored with that gentle, quiet witness that she had for you. And years later, how much of an impact that had for you in your own journey. And, it helps me to remember that I'm not going to do these monumental things. It's the quiet witness that speaks beautifully, and growing in my own, not having the intention of, being holy to have a witness to other people, but really being holy for myself, growing in my own faith journey.
And that's what it was with her. It wasn't, she wasn't speaking out.
Yeah.
She was very quiet. But like I said, the quiet moments, her sitting in the evening with the rosary and praying and just, going to Mass. And it's not like she was nagging you to go to Mass.
That's
either.
That's the word I was looking for, nagging.
There was no nagging. She was inviting. Yes, that's the word I will say. She was inviting. So even at nighttime when she was praying, she wouldn't say, let's go and we're going to pray. She would say, would you like to come and kneel next to me and pray with me?
Beautiful invitation.
Yeah.
All right. So definitely your babcia had an impact on you.
Yes.
And that's so beautiful. And I don't doubt that she's praying for you right now. You mentioned a Sister Bernadette who also played an important role in your faith life. What do you remember most about her influence?
Oh my gosh.
And who was she?
So Sister Bernadette, she was my second grade First Communion religion teacher. Oh my goodness, that woman. So we have Rainbow House. The Rainbow House is a house where the sisters live and they take care of unwanted children that have disabilities.
Oh, I see.
That's what it was. But on top of them living and taking care of the disabled children, sisters were also assigned teaching religion classes. Plus, we also had catechists. And they were also assigned to take care of the churches. So they will do linen for the church. They will clean the church. I mean, everything. So, but Sister Bernadette was just, she had this gentle approach to all of the children. She was very gentle, very loving, and the warmth was just drawing you in, and you wanted to have the more of it. It's like you felt like motherly love. And at that time, in second grade, I was being raised by my grandmother and my father and my sisters because my mom left Poland in 1980 to come to United States. So I was at that time, I was seeking and searching for motherly love, and that's where I was finding it with Sister Bernadette. And if going to the Rainbow House and being there and help, just being there meant she didn't want us just to come and, sit with her. No,
she would put you to work.
Yeah, she did. She said, if you want to come and be with me, you can. Yes. You're more than welcome, but you have to interact with the children. So we would go and help play with the kids. And, if they needed to go to walk somewhere, we would run, to assist them, and just, yes. So she had a huge impact in my life.
And you use this almost the same words for her that you did for your grandmother, gentle and loving.
Yeah.
And kids, by their very nature, are so observant, and they know right away the kind of person they're interacting with. So because these two beautiful women really approached you with open arms, you knew that it was a trusting embrace where you could go and have that kind of encounter with them. That's so
sure
great.
Was. Yeah.
So you were 6 years old when your mother came to the United
Yes.
States, and you were there with your dad and grandfather, and then
grandmother.
Or grandmother, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then there were some things that had shifted a little bit, and then you ended up coming to the States. So talk about that transition from being there in Poland. How old were you when things started shifting and coming here?
Yeah, so I was in 1980. Mom left and came here. As she came here, there was a short break where she came back to Poland, but she was there maybe for a year. It's such a flash. Yes, I really don't remember.
Okay.
And then she came back to the States. While she left for the States, she decided that it wasn't worth it anymore to fight or stay in a marriage, because it wasn't really a good marriage. Unfortunately, my father was an alcoholic, and he was physically abusive towards her. So she just had, I guess, enough of it.
Yeah.
So she pursued a divorce, and I started transitioning from childhood into teenage years, and that's when I started kind of turning away from my faith. I had my confirmation. My grandmother passed away, and I guess after she passed away is when I was like, okay. I still went to church, but I feel like a part of me, when she passed away, a part of me, passed away to something that was there, left.
So early teenage years.
So she passed away in 1988, and in 1990, a month short of my 16th birthday, I migrated to United States to be with my mother, hoping that I'm gonna have this wonderful relationship. I guess I was trying to compare my relationship with having the relationship with my mother like I had with my grandmother, the loving, but unfortunately my mother was not one of the women that knew how to be a tender, caring, and loving. Her words of action were physical, which meant working and providing. We would go to Mass on Sundays, but it was just going. It wasn't,
There's a term or phrase, culturally Catholic.
Yeah.
You're just kind of doing it.
Yeah,
because it's
it was just a check mark. Okay, I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
You in the midst of teen years where you have, shifting hormones and lots of other stuff that go on naturally.
Yep.
You had quite an upheaval with your grandmother passing away and then deciding that you were going to come to the United States, so a completely different culture.
No, I couldn't say deciding. I didn't have a say.
Okay.
I had to.
Okay. So, and you came to the States.
Yeah.
Well, you had said that you thought maybe you could develop a strong relationship with your mom
Yep.
and have her kind of replace your grandmother, and it just wasn't happening. So you encountered public schools in the United States in New York.
Yes.
You came to Queens, New York. And,
Yes.
what was it like for you to adapt to a completely different culture? And you didn't speak English, did you?
No,
That's
I
tough.
did not. The only thing I could say, hi, and my name is.
Right.
It was very hard. It was very hard. Not knowing the language, and it was hard to find myself. I wanted to go back home.
You did. Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the things and people that I knew, but I didn't have that option. So
Yes.
I had to stay here. So I was, looking. My mom's sister, when my mom left Poland, my mom's sister, her younger sister, I would spend a lot of time with her in Poland. And when I came here, she was here as well. So
It's a bridge. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
she was. So sad thing is that I was running away from home on the weekends to spend time with her because I was getting the affection and tenderness from her.
I don't think it's a sad thing. I think you had this desire to have your heart filled.
Yeah.
And I think that's a natural tendency. And you've had a lot of changes as a teenager at this point. So that's very, very understandable. I grew up moving around a lot and spent a lot of time in Europe. So I can kind of understand with being in different cultures and how that is. But I also had the protection of, the military and just different American families that were around us at different points. So that kind of softened the blow.
Yeah.
But you were on your own.
Yep.
And encountering. So you had mentioned, Agnes, that your faith kind of took a nosedive and you weren't really.
No, I was not. I guess in Poland, I had the religion classes. So that was kind of still, and we have communities and groups for young people. So they have groups for elementary school kids, for middle school kids, for high school, for students, and all those communities do something, and they grow together in faith. So when I was in Poland, when I felt the desire and I found a community, I would stay with that group. That meant meeting together, watching movies like Jesus of Nazareth and things like that. And then I came here, and you don't see that. If you don't go to religion, and that's basically all you get is just going to religion. So I guess...
well, you're talking about the difference in the way they instructed here versus the way you got it in Poland, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. What were they doing here in the religion class?
I didn't have a religion class. I was already out of the... I was already out of this the religion class system.
Okay. And no youth groups.
And no youth groups, nothing like that.
So, we're naturally drawn to be in community. So you were searching for community.
I was searching for something. Yeah, I just didn't know what.
Where did you find it?
Where did I find? Oh, well, I was friends. but the friends that I had we weren't talking religion.
Right.
And then
of course.
My husband. I met my husband junior year of high school. It was quick transitioning from dating to getting married and becoming a mother.
Uh-huh. And he's Polish too.
He is Polish, yes.
And I always find this fascinating that we have a tendency to gravitate towards, our own heritage or the people that we are, raised with.
Yep.
And I encountered this when we lived out of the country for a couple of years. And if I would hear somebody speaking in English across the grocery aisle, I would walk up and introduce myself just to feel that connection, because that's how we're made, right? To be in community and to feel connected and acknowledged. So I know you said this to me before the interview, but tell me again, you encountered a group of Polish kids. And was that in your neighborhood? Did you choose to be in a neighborhood, or did your mom choose?
Where the neighborhood that we lived didn't have that many. I mean, handful of Polish people. So I had some Polish kids in my high school.
Okay.
It was maybe total of 5 of us, but my aunt lived in a Polish neighborhood. I mean, and my mom moved out of that neighborhood because she didn't want me to be in the Polish group. She wanted me to be outside. So I guess maybe to develop and learn English faster, because she knew that if I will stay in Polish community, it will not, it will not expand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thankful for that, because that is true. Because my cousin, who came with me, we came together. He lived with my aunt in that Polish community, and he really was like stuck in that Polish circle, and he would not expand as I did. But I still wanted to be within the community of the Polish youth.
Right.
So I was still,
Right.
So I would go on the weekends, and I just made friends. And that's how.
I think there's this natural tendency towards fear, I think. And what I keep hearing in this, and in my own experiences too, is that when we just let go of that fear and trust that God's plan is bigger and better, and the different people that we are meeting and encountering will help to just nurture us in our own path. All right. If you're just tuning in, this is Ellen White with FaithWorks on Divine Mercy Radio, and today I'm speaking with Agnes Tyborowski about her incredible faith journey from Poland to America, from spiritual drifting to renewal through prayer, Eucharistic adoration, pilgrimage, and the faithful prayers of family members who never gave up on her. And we're grateful for our show sponsor, Thales College, for supporting FaithWorks and helping us share these stories of faith in action. All right, so tumultuous years coming to America, very understandably. I think I would have done the same thing. And encountering some friends, and you met your husband.
Yep.
And got married in
a Catholic church. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Had you traveled back to Poland during any of this, or were you?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. My first trip back to Poland was in 1995.
Oh, okay.
My in-laws were.
So you were 21.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My in-laws were very generous, and they paid for my tickets and my kids' tickets. So they took me and my kids with them to Poland.
And and you mentioned your mother-in-law previously.
Yes.
What a faithful Catholic woman she is.
She is praying. The first thing she does when she gets up in the morning, she prays her rosary. She prays her Divine Mercy chaplets. She has a whole litany of prayers that she does every day. And yes, she goes regularly to Mass.
Maybe I should have had her on with you this morning too. That would have been
It would
wonderful.
be kind of hard because she has still a hard time speaking English.
Okay. All right. So bring us forward to, I guess if you could just briefly summarize, because we've got a few more questions from where you really started opening up to God's calling. Transition us from, marrying your husband and your start of your family, and from being a lukewarm Catholic to Eucharistic adoration, maybe search retreat somewhere in there. So tell us how that came to be.
So we got married in a church. Of course, you marry in church because you're Catholic and you follow the formula. I had my boys baptized pretty quickly. Both were baptized within the month of being born, because that's what I was told, that you have to baptize your child very fast.
Did you understand what baptism was at that point?
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I knew what baptism is,
Okay.
bringing child to God, you
Yes.
know. I just wasn't paying.
Mm.
It wasn't, it was more of a check mark.
Right.
It's done.
Exactly.
Then boys were growing. We moved to North Carolina in 1999.
From New York.
While they were growing, I did have them both in a pre-K system at St. Matthias, which is a Catholic school in New York. But unfortunately, I wasn't going to Mass. And my mother-in-law would say, you have to take your children to Mass. I'm like, okay, you know, God is everywhere. I don't have to go to Mass. I don't have to go to confession.
Where did you get these ideas? Was it because that's a very Protestant
most,
approach?
Yeah, most common thing you say, and you know,
God is everywhere.
God is everywhere. Yeah.
So was it anybody that you were interacting with?
No.
Okay. It was just
It
was just your response.
It's just my lukewarm Catholic approach to it. You know, I don't need church. I don't need a building. You know, but when we moved here, I did know that like I said, following the formula, boys
Right.
have to go to communion and have confirmation. So, you know, following the formula. So when we moved here, we went to the parish. St. Joseph's was the original parish where we have started. My sister took us there. That's where she was going. That's where we started. So we would go to Sunday Mass. I would sign up the boys for the religion, you know.
Great location. And Monsignor Williams was the pastor there, right? Or no,
not
Okay.
yet. When we started, it was Father Thai, but not the Father Thai that everybody thinks of from St. Catherine's. No, he was a Mountaineer from the Mountaineer community, which is, I believe, they Filipino or Vietnamese.
Oh, okay.
It was quite a number of population at St. Joseph's at that time.
Okay.
And then Monsignor Williams came in, and my boys had their first communion. They had their confirmation, but I wasn't awakened yet. I was still just following up the formula.
And they have the image of Our Lady of
They do have the image of Our Lady of Częstochowa. And I guess that's probably why I was drawn to that church.
Yes.
Because of the image of Our Lady of Częstochowa and of it being blessed by John Paul II.
Yes. So for those that are tuning in that might not be familiar, every week, every Wednesday night, they're still doing it. And did it start when Monsignor Williams came, or?
No, I think it was before that.
Okay.
The image of Our Lady of Częstochowa was there before even Monsignor Williams was there. When I came there in 1990, it was already there. In 1999, it was already there. So I'm not sure when they actually brought it in.
This is an image that's kind of sporadically touched me at different points in my life too, which is really kind of ironic that we're sitting here. Not ironic, it's a God incident. So,
yeah.
And you have your little booklet here of Our Lady of Częstochowa. What can you say about who she is and why this image is so important? What do you know about the backstory of this?
Our Lady of Częstochowa, I can tell you that it's believed that it was a painting of Saint Luke, the evangelist. It was discovered by Saint Helen.
And Saint Helen, Saint Constantine's
mother,
who found the true cross.
Yes. And then the image ended being a gift to Prince Władysław in 1382. So that was a gift given to Poland, and it ended up at the cloistery in Częstochowa, which it's called. The name of the church is Częstochowa. The name of the cloister is found in Jasna Góra, which is translated to a bright hill. The icon had a lot of miracles associated with it. In 1430, it was damaged, and the image Mary had received 2 slashes on her face, and those slashes are visible. So, but as I said, there is a lot of miracles associated with it. Mary was crowned a Queen of Poland as well. So,
and Jesus was crowned
the
King of Poland. I think that's so great.
Yeah. So people were having pilgrimages there. The first one was in 1656, and there were like small pilgrimages going in after the World War II in August of 1945, the first pilgrimage of 500 people went out from Warsaw back to
What was the
Częstochowa.
year again?
In 1945,
Oh, wow.
August of 1945. And in 1963, the Communist Party was trying to stop the pilgrimages. They were trying to oppose people from going there.
Because there were so many people that were doing it.
But people were continuing doing the illegal pilgrimage, and people, as they were being opposed to do it, the groups were growing. In 1975, so the pilgrimages started from Warsaw. But in 1975, another region of Poland joined the pilgrimage from Warsaw. And basically, that's how it started, that year after year, different region will join, and the groups were growing. So you have people coming by thousands now to visit the shrine every year since
Have you done it?
No, I have not. I was a child. I heard about it.
Yes.
But I was told that I'm too young to get it done. So it's a lot of miles. It is a lot of miles. So no, I have not had it done.
It might be on your journey, but I want to say too, and this side note, and the history of Our Lady of Częstochowa is so fascinating. So let's kind of bring it back, and there is a major connection here in the United States.
It is
with Our Lady of Częstochowa and you, Agnes, and your faith journey, and how your faith journey was deepened in the midst of this image and Our Lady, not just the image. We're talking about Our Lady of Częstochowa.
Oh yeah.
So, in 2018,
yes,
you attended your first retreat.
Yes.
And was it at that retreat that you discovered Eucharistic Adoration, or was it separate from that?
So, no, at that retreat, I actually encountered the retreat was led by Father Bashabora.
Mm-hmm.
He visits United States.
Healing priest.
Yes, once a year. That was a life-changing retreat as well.
Mm-hmm. But, I want to say, too, because I think for me, you can hear healing priest and healing mass. And I forget that at every mass we encounter encounter the most incredible miracle on earth, with Christ giving us his body and his blood so that we can be transformed. So, okay.
Yep. So Father Bash, that was my first retreat. And since that retreat, I started kind of getting more involved and more open to the faith. But the reason why is because my son actually had met a young lady that was an atheist. And that's where my conversion started, with my son meeting an atheist woman. And I'm thinking, okay, well, now he definitely is not going to marry in church, because, you have to check off the box. So the box won't be checked off. But in reality, me realizing that was like my spiritual awakening. It's like, you want your child to do that, but why you not doing that?
Yes. And see, I was looking at it as, what kind of a legacy do you want to leave behind? But it was more, you had this expectation of your children that you didn't have of yourself.
Yeah.
So
all I taught my kids was to check off the box.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't teach them the true following and
that encounter with Christ,
of Christ.
That true relationship. That there is really a relationship there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was something beyond this first eye-opening experience with your son's girlfriend, and recognizing that it's just not a path that you desired. You started going into your faith. What were some of the steps that encouraged you?
My sister was actually going through a little bit crisis with her son as well. And she was encountering God, and I was kind of starting to live through her encounter.
Okay.
And growing with her. And then in 2018, my younger son was having mental crisis, and that's also wasn't working too far from St. Catherine's. So at lunchtime, I would drive up just to sit just to sit in the church. And at that time, I didn't even know that we had adoration chapel. And I was leaving when I saw somebody coming out, and I asked the gentleman, I said, like, is anybody allowed there? And he says, oh yeah, you're just not gonna go. And that's how I discovered
The
adoration.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those that are tuning in that might not be familiar with what an adoration chapel is, we have Christ exposed in something that's called a monstrance. And it's a very beautiful, quiet, peace-filled encounter with Christ. And you go in and you're encountering Jesus,
Yep.
and you can pray.
Yep.
You can just sit quietly, just sit there and be. And it is the most incredible experience beyond Mass and the sacraments on earth.
Just sitting there with Jesus.
So you did. And that's what started your transformation.
Yeah. So I would come, whenever I could. And then I looked for a opening. So I saw that there was an opening. I signed up. So my first adoration hour was at midnight. I would come at midnight. And then COVID came, and that stopped.
So regularly, there are 24-hour, on the hour adoration adorers. So, and it's based on scripture where Christ said to the apostles, could you not just stay 1 hour with me awake in the garden? And that's what adoration, the hour, is on the premise of, that you're there spending an hour willingly with our Lord. So COVID came. I know that there were a ton of restrictions.
Yep.
They took out chairs. They closed the door. Did they close it? I wasn't at
It was
St.
closed.
Catherine's. Okay.
It was closed for a while. Then it was reopened, and only one adorer
Could go in.
could go in. So me and my adoration partner, we would switch out the days.
Okay.
I would come 1 week, then she would come the other week.
Okay. I remember going in there kind of towards the end of COVID, I guess, and sitting in adoration, and how the chairs were kind of situated. I guess they had allowed so many people at that point, but it was so sad.
It was very sad. It was very sad.
Wow, we could talk for hours and hours and hours. Adoration was paramount in your own faith journey and return. You also started volunteering with the search retreats for high school youth, and you had an encounter with, and I guess with the search retreats, I need to have Monique on so she can share about these incredible experiences with these teens. But
she's amazing.
She is.
She's an amazing person.
Shout out to you, Monique. But with these teens, they share their own faith journeys, kind of like what you and I are doing right now. And there was one encounter that you had with, I guess, a young lady that was sharing, or a young boy that was sharing about his own faith journey, and it just really struck you.
They all shared a journey, and it's just throughout all of the talks, your heart just like, imagine your heart being a stone. And every time you hear somebody's story, there's like this piece of the stone like falling off your heart. And that's basically
softening your hardened heart.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And, it's humility that you're hearing. It's the willingness to just be authentic and who they truly are, and to not put on airs, because when we do that, we're putting up these shields, and we're, it's a buffer, and we're preventing.
And just watching those kids becoming open and feeling safe and secured, where they can open up and share their story, actually became monumental for me to open up and share my own story with them.
Okay. Wow. All right. And I'm curious, I want to bring your grandmother and Sister Bernadette into this experience as you've gotten a little older, and you're growing in your faith. Are they coming into your mind?
All the time.
See, it's so incredible.
Yeah.
And then beyond these search retreats, you had an opportunity to go on pilgrimage.
Yes, in 2023.
Okay.
And yes, we're going back to the Shrine of Our Lady of Częstochowa.
In Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Not Poland.
No, not Poland. So replica of Our Lady of Częstochowa was brought into Pennsylvania, Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and it was dedicated in 1966. And also it was blessed by John Paul II. President Reagan also visited that Doylestown.
Is it Doylestown?
Doylestown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pennsylvania. So 1966 was dedication, and the first pilgrimage happened in 1988, so 22 years later. And it was a very small group of people, only 17 people, that decided to walk 60 miles from New Jersey to the shrine. At the end, on Sunday, there was 33 people that have ended the whole pilgrimage.
So it started with 60.
No, it started with 17.
Oh, 17.
17 people,
okay.
60 miles.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And it ended with 33 people on that Sunday.
Wow.
And since that day, it grows. You have people coming in thousands. So every year, beginning of August. So this year is, I believe it's on August 6th. Yes. So August 6th through August 9th, 60-mile walk from Great Meadows, New Jersey to the Shrine of Our Lady. It's an experience of the lifetime. I walked that pilgrimage with intentions. I had some intentions. One of my sons was having issues in his marriage, so I was taking an intention, praying for him and for the resolution. Then I was praying for my other son and his wife to get marriage convalidation in Catholic Church, and also for them to be blessed with a child. And I would say all the prayers have been answered as I was walking. As I was walking, we didn't know, a little life was starting to grow. A couple weeks later, when I got back home from the pilgrimage, my daughter-in-law called me and said that they will get married in the church. So thank you, Father Matthew, because he was the one that led them and married them. So that was beautiful. And my son left the marriage that he wasn't supposed to be in. So,
yeah. Prayers were answered.
Prayers were answered.
You know, I know I asked you before when we were talking about this, Agnes, but and thinking more about pilgrimage and why it's such a powerful experience. And I love to be active. And you had said there are 3 groups.
Yes.
2 that are Polish and 1 that's English.
Yes.
That go on these pilgrimages, and there are priests that are kind of guiding reflections and praying
we have
rosaries.
Priests. So two Polish groups are led by priests and sisters, and then English-speaking group is led by Franciscan friars.
Franciscan Friars of the Renewal.
Yes.
Yeah. So great.
So there is a lot of meditation, there is rosary, there is a lot of singing. So it's basically you walking, but you pray for it.
I love
it's
it.
prayerfully walking.
It's everything that I love. You're outside.
Yeah.
You're getting exercise.
Yeah.
And you're praying.
Yeah.
The 3 most beautiful things. And you have a destination where you end up, and you're taking these intentions with you. Oh, I'm all over it. All right. So, and this you did in 2023, and you had prayers answered. So you decided to go back.
So I wanted to go back in 2024. Unfortunately, I had to have a second spinal fusion, so I could not walk yet. I mean, I could walk, but I could not walk that far. So it was postponed to 2025. So I did my second walk in 2025, in August of 2025, in Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
The walk is it's just such an amazing walk. It's you meeting new people. I have this walk, the last walk I walked with the English speaking group, and I have met a lot of people I met a woman from California who just heard about the pilgrimage and traveled herself from California just to walk it. Then I met a very beautiful soul young lady that was actually entering the Catholic Church. Her grandma was Catholic, and she carried her rosary with her that was given to her from her grandma, and she was just carrying it, and we were praying rosary, and 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 she was carrying it. And I asked her, do you know how to pray it? She said, no. So as we were praying, I was explaining to her how it works. So she learned how to pray her Grandma's rosary. It's just...
I can't help but think of Babcha.
yes. So, yes.
That's beautiful. So if you're interested in finding out more about this, and I have my friend Agnes that's talking to me about maybe going this August, but Our Lady of Czestochowa in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, you can certainly Google that and get some information about the pilgrimage. And it's, oh my gosh, it's not expensive at all.
It is not. It's really not. I mean, it's really... It's $150 or something like that for you, and it covers your food. Unfortunately, it's an outdoor living.
Right, exactly.
So you have to have a tent and a sleeping bag, but oh my, it's worth it. It's worth every minute of it.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
You start the day walking and you finish the day with the Mass and the Eucharistic Adoration. What else?
I mean, what else do you need? You need nothing. Yeah. All right. So in closing, Agnes, looking back now, where do you most clearly see God pursuing you throughout your life?
I don't think he was ever pursuing me. He was always there. I just didn't see him, but he was there.
Good answer. And if someone is listening right now and feels distant from God today, what encouragement would you offer them? What would you say?
I would say find the nearest church. Go sit in the pew. Even if there is no other adoration, just go sit in the pew and look in front of you where you see that red little light that indicates that he's there. He is there, and he will always be there waiting for you.
And what does keeping the faith mean to you personally right now?
Not losing it again.
Thank you so much, really, Agnes, for being with us today and for sharing your beautiful story of faith, perseverance, healing, and hope. Your witness is a powerful reminder that prayer matters. God is always at work, and no one is ever beyond his reach.
No.
If you missed any part of this episode or want to catch up on past conversations filled with inspiration and hope, you can find them all at divinemercyradio.org. Just click on local shows. And don't forget, you can take FaithWorks with you wherever you go. Just download the free Divine Mercy Radio app from your app store. Simply search Divine Mercy Radio NC, and you're all set to listen anytime, anywhere. Our Lady of Czestochowa,
pray for us.
And Saint Bernadette,
pray for us.
God bless.